بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام على نبينا محمد وعلى آله وأصحابه أجمعين. Amma ba'd. Dear beloved viewers, I welcome you with an Islamic greeting. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Our session today is going to be about the beneficiaries of Zakat. This is a continuation of what we started in the previous episode, where we mentioned 8 categories that are eligible to be given zakat. And these 8 categories were not mentioned by anyone except Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala himself. As you know, zakat is a financial worship, ibadatu maliyya. And the Almighty Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, with respect to those who deserve to be given, He hasn't left it to chances. We read in Surah At-Tawbah, verse 60, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, إنما الصدقات للفقراء والمساكين والعاملين عليها والمؤلفة قلوبهم وفي الرقاب والغارمين وفي سبيل الله وابن السبيل فريضة من الله والله عليم حكيم. This verse mentions 8 categories of those who are eligible to be given zakat, or we call them beneficiaries of zakat. Today, inshallah ta'ala, we are going to discuss the first 2 in detail. We need to understand the poor and the needy. Who are they according to the fiqh and the views of scholars? And how much are they supposed to be given? And in our modern times, who are the categories of the poor and the needy that can be supported? And also, if time allows, we will look at, is there a poor that is not deserving to be given zakah? Among others. So let's start with the meaning of the poor and the needy, the faqir and the maskeen. As for the poor, it is considered this is the most deserving category, as he has, as a person who has nothing. He has nothing for his needs. He wakes up in the morning and has nothing at all for his needs. So it could be a person who has no wealth whatsoever. He has no job, he has no shop, he is hustling. He wakes up looking for day work and something like that. And whatever he gets as well might not be enough to meet his needs. So some scholars say that this is the person who has little compared to his needs. What he receives or whatever he earns is little compared to what he needs on his daruriyat, on his basic needs. So if he needs 500 for a day, he gets, say, 100 or 200, which is below the amount he needs for his basic needs. So this is the first group and the most deserving group. The poor doesn't have anything, or what he has falls short, very short of what can meet his needs. And the second category is maskeen, the needy. And this is, again, a second category of the most deserving. to be given zakat. And this is the person, although he has something, but again falls short of what he needs. So if he needs a 500, he might get up to 400 or 450. In short, he is better off, according to some scholars, he is better off, Maskin is better off compared to the poor, but again, he doesn't have what that suffices his basic needs. So though he gets, but again, it's not 100% to meet his basic needs. So scholars elaborate further about these two groups and says that these could be individuals who are deprived of anything. They don't have anything. And this is definitely the poor. Doesn't have anything. Or could be a person whose wealth and income satisfy a little bit of his or her essential needs. Or could be a person who owns a shelter, affords to pay for rent, for example, but doesn't have enough to afford for food or for medication or for other essential needs. Or could be, and this is for the needy, a person whose wealth and income satisfy more than a half of essential needs, but still fall short of fulfillment of those needs. Beloved viewers, I hope these explanations gives you an understanding of who is the poor and the needy that we are talking about. But to expand these discussions, there is two major views as to who is the poor and the needy. The first view of Imam Abu Hanifa says that a poor person is the person who doesn't own wealth that is equal or above the nisab. This is according to Imam Abu Hanifa. But according to the majority of scholars, that is Imam Shafi'i and Maliki and others, the nisab is not the category, is not the qualifying criteria, but it is hadd al-kifaya, it is the level of sufficiency. That a person could be having some wealth that is equivalent to nisab, but still deserves again to be given. He might be required to give, but he might also be required to be given. So, according to majority of scholars, it is the hadd al-kifaya that is the criterion of whether the person is needy or the poor. Does he have an income that suffices his basic needs? So this is the most important criteria according to the majority of scholars. And when they talk about basic needs, this means or includes food. Does he have income that can meet his food expenses, accommodation, clothing? If he is somebody who has to incur cost of moving from one place to another, like a fare for a work or to open a shop, does he afford to pay fare to move from one place to another to work? But not only himself as an individual, but of his family. Does he have an income that suffices these basic needs of himself and his family, if he has a level of income that suffices, okay, these basic needs, is able to pay for his rent, is able to pay for his food, is able to pay for the clothing, okay, is able to pay for, say, education of his children's, okay, then he is not considered the poor or the needy. But he falls short of these items, falls short of financial resources to meet these basic needs, then is considered a poor or a needy. Now, there is this further question. Does it mean the person who doesn't afford those basic needs for a day, or for a month, or for a year? There are different opinions among scholars with respect to this question, but I will quote here the view of our contemporary Sheikh Ibn Uthaymeen on this question. When he was asked, who is the faqir that deserves to be given zakat? In his fatwa, he responded by saying, Al-faqir alladhi yastahiqqu min az-zakah huwa alladhi la yajidu kifayatuhu wa a'ilatuhu limuddati sana. So to him, a poor and the needy person, the poor person is the person who doesn't have sources of income, doesn't have an income that is adequate to meet his basic needs for himself and for his dependents for a year. For a year. So if it's a person that doesn't have what is enough to meet his basic needs for a year, according to the Sheikh, that is a poor person that deserves to be given zakat. And he continued saying that it differs from one place and one period of time from the other. And he said, for example, a person in a certain city could be given a certain amount, though it looks bigger, but given the high cost of living in that particular city, he might still be considered as a poor. Though the same amount could be given to another person, could be owned by a certain person in a certain city, and it could be considered as rich. And this is quite clear between the urban life and the rural life. We really understand this. It differs from one place to another, but also from time to time, because cost of living keeps on changing from time to time. So this is the answer given by the Sheikh with respect to who is the poor that deserves to be given zakat. Is the person that doesn't have what is adequate to meet his basic needs for himself and for his family, those who are depending on him for a year. If he doesn't have resources that is enough to meet for his expenses, for his livelihood, basic needs, then he is considered a poor that deserves to be given zakat. We'll take a short break and come back to a little bit mention in specific terms who should be given a priority in these two categories of the poor and the needy. Please don't go away.